hang on. If you are thinking about going to boot camp anytime soon, watch this video all the way through because this is going to be a ton of great advice. This is advice that I used to give as a recruiter to help my kids, my applicants, my poolees, whatever you want to call them, make it through boot camp successfully. I had a very good rate of people who succeeded through boot camp. This is also all the financial stuff that is A, in my new book, and B, things that I wish I'd known because I fucked everything up when I first joined the military. So this is the stuff that I wish I'd known when I went into boot camp, and then this is also some things that you need to keep in mind going into your first enlistment to make it successful. So first things first, advice for boot camp, right? Don't take anything personally. Your drill instructors are there for one reason and one reason only, to turn you into that Marine, Sailor, Air Force, Navy, whatever, turn you into that product. So they're going to break you down, and then they're going to build you back up, and it's a job. It's all a job. There will be days where you think you're doing everything right and you're getting screwed with. There will be days where you think you're doing everything wrong and nothing's happening. It's all a part of the plan, all a part of the schedule. Don't worry about it. Don't get in your headspace because that's what they're trying to do. Don't let them get in your headspace. Don't take things personally. Rolls right into number 2. Leave emotion out of things. Don't freak out about it. You signed up to go to boot camp. Like, you didn't watch all the movies about boot camp or Full Metal Jacket and think like, oh, that looks easy. Like, yeah, it's gonna suck. You're gonna get scared. You're gonna get nervous. You're gonna be fearful. You're gonna freak out. Like, that's normal. Don't let it get to you. Number 3, worry about your dang self. Right? Like, you need to take care of yourself at boot camp. Don't worry about the guy next to you. You're not responsible for his problems. Your drill instructor is. If you try to focus on airing his dirty laundry, not gonna help you. Right? Like, to put in perspective how real this is, as far as worrying about yourself, right? And not worrying about other people. In like the first week I was at boot camp, my rack mate had a seizure. He was getting IT'd, so like push-ups, like, whatever, drawing a blank here, mountain climbers, crunches, jumping jacks, whatever. And he had a seizure on the quarterdeck. And I kid you not, they needed to use my rack for waiting on the ambulance or whatever to come over and check on him. And so I got to finish his IT session because I was worried about helping him, and they were like, get out of here, and like, someone needs to finish his IT session. So I got to do all the push-ups and whatever that he was supposed to be doing. And I don't know if that ties in perfectly, but ultimately the point being, like, they don't want you worrying about the other recruits. They don't want you trying to help them out or speed them up. They want them to figure things out on their own, and they want you to figure things out on your own and not worry about other people. So, number 4, nobody cares. I mean, it's that simple. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that your feet hurt. Nobody cares you miss home. Nobody cares that you got a letter. Or nobody cares that you didn't get a letter. Nobody cares that you're tired if it's your time for Firewatch. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. That motto will help you out a lot in life. Nobody cares. Yeah, that's it. I don't know where we're at anymore because I used letters on this thing and now I'm using numbers. So number E, if that helps. Move quickly, do what you're told, and you'll be fine. Like, just move quickly, speed and intensity. That's all you need to do. Move quick and do exactly what you're told, you'll be fine. Which leads me into the next one, which is do only what you're told. Not anything else. Only exactly what you're told. Put this in perspective from another story. Young recruit Pere was at boot camp, and we're doing all the pack straps. For those of you who are Marines, you might know what, like, rolling all your straps up and taping them up to make it all look nice. And we were going one strap at a time. Roll this strap up, tape it. Roll this strap up, tape it. One strap, the next strap. So I knew where this trend was going, so I started rolling up additional straps. Like, oh, well, we're going to obviously do these 4. And my senior drill instructor, Staff Sergeant Angulo at the time, who's now First Sergeant, super awesome dude, but he came over. It was like the one time that I got thrashed that I remember, like, personally being only me getting thrashed. Like, I got thrashed a whole bunch with, like, the entire platoon. It was like the one time it was just me, and it was like, basically like, do you think you know where we're going? Like, you're trying to work ahead. You only do what we say, blah, blah, blah. And basically, anyway, long story short, all my straps got undone. All my straps were then had to be redone, and I better have caught up real quick. I'm pretty sure my pack got, like, dumped out. I don't know. I don't remember. But I do remember that I was told to do one thing, and I tried to do more. At boot camp, just do what you're told. The next one is, again, reiterating that nobody cares. They just don't. Nobody cares. And then no matter what, don't quit. That's it. All you gotta do to make it through boot camp is don't quit. If you quit at boot camp, you're going to be a quitter forever, right? Like, as it is. Boot camp is easy if you just don't quit. It is a mental game. Physically, boot camp is, yeah, it's demanding, but physically, boot camp is also easy. It is a mental game. So don't quit. If you just don't quit, you'll make it. You'll graduate. You'll be okay. You'll be a Marine. You'll be an airman. You'll be a seaman. You'll be a soldier. You'll be whatever. Just don't quit. All right, moving into section 2, financial advice. So here's just a couple of things that you should be doing as soon as you go to boot camp. Right? Number 1 is immediately contribute at least 10% to your Roth TSP, your thrift savings plan. Preferably 20 or 30%, right? Because here's the thing. Let's say you're making $1,000 a month, and then you decide to contribute 30%. Now you're making $700 a month. That seems like a huge pay cut, and you will make more money than that. This is just examples. But if you started with 30% contributed, and you'd only ever seen that $700 a month, then you wouldn't know that it wouldn't register that you used to get $1,000. You wouldn't feel like you're missing out. So the more money you can contribute to your thrift savings plan early, the better, because that money will compound and grow very quickly. And over time, if you put it in the right fund and you contribute heavily at an early age, and put this in perspective, every dollar contributed at 18 is worth $2 contributed at 30 or at 28. Maybe even more. It just depends on your average return. But using a 7% average return, kind of markets, averages, every dollar contributed at 18 is worth $2 contributed at 28, which means that I will not, even though I max out my TSP right now, can't catch up to what it would be like if I had maxed out my TSP at the beginning. So just know that, and definitely start putting money in your TSP right away. Now, look, as soon as you graduate from recruit training, verify which fund your money's going to. It should be in the life cycle fund for the year that you turn 60, and also make sure that your money's going to the Roth TSP. Now, your 1% matching contribution will automatically go to traditional. You can't change that. And the additional 4% contribution that you'll get matched by the military when you hit your 2-year mark will also go to traditional. But everything you contribute should go to Roth at an early age, because that means you're paying the taxes now and you don't have to pay the taxes later, which is absolutely the way you want to do this when you're young, for sure. And then if you really want to make this work for you, read the book The Simple Path to Wealth, which will just have a ton of information about these funds and how they work. But you don't want to worry about all that. You can just leave it in the life cycle fund with the year that you plan to begin, like turn 60 and begin pulling out, which should be where it started, and just contribute, and you'll be golden. All right. Don't buy a new car. Don't do it. I've got a great article on the website about buying used cars, and military car buying, I think is what the article is called. But I have bought and sold 6, 7, I don't know, 8, a whole bunch of cars, right? Never owned any new cars. I have owned a new motorcycle. I think motorcycles are okay. I think they're probably better if they're new, because you don't know how they've been ridden. But for other vehicles like cars and whatever, I don't recommend buying a new car. I just don't, because of a couple of reasons, but the biggest one is that over the next 5 years, on average, it will depreciate 60%, right? Like, that's a colossal loss of money. And you're still paying it, and you're paying interest. And it's what, to look cool? You probably don't even need a car at your new duty station. So don't buy a new car. You might not even need to buy a car at all. Might be able to get around with buddies and Uber. That's totally fine. But if you are going to buy a car, buy used. Check out my guide. There's some great advice on there and about buying cars intelligently. Next one is don't eat out all the time if you're still paying for the chow hall. So if you're paying for the chow hall and it's coming out of your pocket, eat at the chow hall. It's fairly healthy. Might not be the best food in the world, but it's paid for already. So don't spend hundreds of dollars a month eating out if you can eat at the chow hall. Save that money, whether you invest it in your TSP or save it for later for investing in real estate or whatever it is that you want to do, stocks, whatever. But just don't eat out all the time. And then I would say learn about investing, financial literacy, and all of that while you're saving money to invest. So read books about real estate, read books about the stock market, read books about business, read books about whatever it is that fits your style of like investing that you kind of want to get into, or even just financial education books, and just kind of learn that stuff, because even at a young age, that stuff will make a huge difference. If you start saving early, start investing early, I promise you'll set yourself up for success and be way farther ahead than your peers. Now, your peers are probably going to want to go out and drink and do whatever, and that's fine. You can still have fun, especially if you like volunteer to be like the DD and you still have all the fun in the world, but you don't have to like pay nearly as much to go out and have fun. You can still have a ton of fun with friends, but just not blowing as much money. I promise 10 years, 20 years down the road, they're going to be wondering where they went wrong with their finances, and you'll be doing okay. And that's a much better spot to be in than also being broke. So, and then don't go into credit card debt. I have nothing wrong with getting a credit card and using it like once and then paying it off. But don't build up credit card debt. It's totally not worth it, especially at a young age. You want to have credit. You want to have credit reports. You want to have good credit. You want to use credit. You don't want to have credit card debt, right? Like that's just not necessary. All right, so a couple things for what you should be focusing on your first enlistment. This is the third section. First is mastering your craft. You should become the subject matter expert in your MOS. The better you do at your MOS, the more noticeable you're going to be for like meritorious promotions and things like that. So the better you are at your job out the gate, the better your quality of life will be. You want to be the go-to guy in your shop. I promise that will help you out a lot in life. So, definitely focus on honing that skill set, especially if it's something that you want to do like after the military or you want to stay in the military long term. The next is volunteering for every leadership position you can. Take on those responsibilities. It might not always be fun, but it will help you become a better leader. It will help you get promoted. It'll help you stand out. And honestly, like leading is a whole lot more fun than just being told what to do all the time. Now, being told what to do all the time might be easier, but making decisions and having things run your way is a whole lot more fulfilling than always sitting back and going, oh, I wish things would run this way. So definitely take the time, take some leadership opportunities, and learn, because the earlier you learn how to be a leader, the better you're going to be both in the military and out. Volunteer for deployments, training, whatever, right? Like, I'm a huge proponent of like volunteering for all kinds of stuff. If I could deploy again, I would. I love that. I like training ops. I like a lot of that stuff. That's the fun, like down and dirty side of the military. So take advantage of it. Do it. Don't just sit in the office or the shop all the time. It's not fulfilling. All right, attend schools, both military and academic. If you want to go to college, do it. Use your tuition assistance, go to college. If you don't want to go to college, that's fine. You don't have to. Attend military schools, like advanced schools for your MOS. Maybe you do like Lean Six Sigma and learn about like systems and processes. Maybe you become a safety rep. Maybe you become a hazmat rep. Maybe you take on the billet of like command financial specialist like I have. By the way, I have all of those. Maybe as you're a little farther along, you go on recruiting duty or drill instructor duty, or if you're Marine, embassy guard duty. But look at these different schools that you can attend, advanced schools for your job field or schools that'll help you outside the military, and do them. Like, take advantage of these free trainings, take advantage of these schools. They'll help you professionally, they'll help you outside of the military too, and especially if you're doing like the academic thing, like college is going to help you on both sides, theoretically. I mean, I guess it depends on what you study, but definitely look into that. And then prepare for your transition. This is the final step, and a lot of people just don't talk about this, but you should always be preparing for transition. You should go to medical when necessary. I'm not saying anytime you think something hurts, go to medical, but like, I had a shoulder injury for years, and I finally got it figured out that I had a fracture for like 5 years. So, or another example, like I drove over a thing that went boom in Afghanistan, and we kind of lied about how messed up we were, and 10 years later, I've got injuries related to that. I got a hearing aid I'm supposed to wear at work. A lot of random stuff like that it's hard to tie it back. So just swallow your pride, go to medical. Not to make stuff up, and don't let people shame you for going to medical. But if you have a legitimate injury, get it fixed. You're going to be able to perform at a higher level, and you're going to want that stuff documented, right? Do transition readiness seminar or TAP or whatever they call it, TRS in the Marine Corps, whatever they call it, the transition seminar earlier. The earlier you do it, the better you can prepare, and maybe even do it a second time. Have an emergency fund set up. You should have at least like 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting in an account, so that when you get out of the military, you have some runway there to figure life out and see how things are going to go. And spend time finding yourself, right? It sounds super hippy dippy, but don't let the military be your only identity and purpose in life. So, like, for example, if I'm a Marine and all I've known for 12 years is that I'm a Marine, and then I get out, I'm going to struggle because now I'm no longer a Marine. So there's that identity piece. So I need to know who David Pere is before I get out and I'm no longer that Marine. So I'm a Marine, but I'm also David Pere, and I am very confident in those two identities. I have a very large purpose outside of the military too, with the military millionaire community and real estate and family and friends and networking and events and everything else, helping service members and veterans learn how to build wealth through, real estate, entrepreneurship, personal finance. You guys have heard it all. But I have that identified. You're going to want to have that identified before you get out. Now, you might not know your purpose. That's totally normal. Like, finding your purpose is not an easy thing, but you need to make sure that your purpose isn't just serving your country in the military. You're really going to struggle as a man or a woman, but especially as a man, if you don't have a purpose in life and you don't have an identity. I think that's what leads to veteran suicide. So spend time focusing. Like, if you need to take a whole week of leave and go away to like a cabin or whatever and just spend time learning about yourself, or spend time with some high-level friends, or join a mastermind group like ours to get surrounded with like-minded people, you need to figure out who you are outside of the military and what your purpose is outside of the military, so that whenever you get out of the military, you're good. And last but not least, shameless plug, check out my new book, The No BS Guide to Military Life, How to Get Rich, Get Promoted, and Achieve Greatness. Officially comes out June 1st. It is available for pre-order right now at frommilitarytomillionaire.com/book, and it goes into way more detail than I could ever go into on this. 264 pages or something like that. So much detail and just honest stories and honest feedback and things that I wish I'd known when I was younger. So I think there's some good information in there. Obviously, I'm a little biased because I wrote the dang thing, but check it out. If nothing else, subscribe, like this video, spend some time on the channel. You might learn something, and give me any feedback, right? If you got some feedback, I'd love to hear it. Have a great day.